Hello, students of Vishwavidyapeeth. A very warm welcome and greetings of the day. My name is Eshwari Bhoga, and I'm a consulting psychologist at Team Out Loud, and we're based in Mumbai. Let's start our today's session on power of sleep. I hope you all are doing well and are geared up for your marathon on 25th of Feb. And that is the reason why we are discussing power of sleep. Are you having this question as to what's the relationship between sleep and you running a marathon? Let me tell you, there is a relation, because sleep is directly influences our immune system. If we do not sleep enough, it has an effect on our immune system. And immune system in turn determines how often we fall sick or we don't fall sick. So remember, if you want yourself to be in shape during your marathon, if you want to train well, you need to have enough sleep. And athletes especially need more amount of sleep because of long training hours and because of the fact that your body is physically tired due to continuous training, and your exercises and running is a very energetic and exerting physical activity, which is why you need to make sure that you are giving your body your full recovery. And that is why sleep is very important. Now we look at how do we sleep well. There are a lot of elements or a lot of factors around us that distract us or that lead to disturbances in sleep. Another very important reason why sleep is important, you all may notice that on days when you have not slept well, you all will feel irritated. You all will feel like your body is tired and you all will feel weak. I'm sure you must have noticed this difference. If you haven't, you should try. Just observe that on days when you have slept, when you've had your whole 8 hours of sleep, how are you doing physically and mentally? And on days where due to some reason you couldn't sleep well or your quality of sleep was disturbed, on those days especially, you will feel very irritated and it will be very easy for you to get into arguments or just be frustrated. So notice that difference on days when you don't feel, or on days when you haven't slept well. So let's look at what are these factors or these elements that distract or that cause a disturbance in our sleep. First of all is screens, of course. Screens are everywhere. It's our phone, it's our computer, it's our TV, it's your tablet, everywhere. And we have become so habituated to screens that we hardly spend time without it. It's there with us all the time. And unfortunately, it has a very, very negative effect on almost everything, on our functioning, on total. It affects our minds, it affects our body, it has a very harmful effect on our eyes, which is why screens must be kept away before sleeping, at least half an hour before. From the minute we wake up, you all may notice that you are always either on your phone or on your computer. And to control this, we have to make sure that we are cutting down our screen time. So if you're using your mobiles or your tablets, make sure that you're using it only half an hour or only 2 hours a day. That's the minimum amount of time that you need, that you have to have your screen time limited to 2 hours a day. Make sure you make a note of this. Second, caffeine. Yes, I'm sure that I'm not sure how many of the students here drink coffee or have tea or have any beverage that includes caffeine. But caffeine is a troubling thing if you want to sleep well. Its main effect is that it helps you keep alert and awake. And that is something that we do not need if we are about to sleep early. So caffeine has an effect that blocks our sleep promoting receptors. And that's why your brain, when it's about to sleep, when it's supposed to be resting, it's all active and awake. And we do not want that. So you have to cut down, or you have to be mindful that you are not having caffeine anytime in the evening, or especially after dinner. There is no intake of caffeine in any way. Next point, heavy meals. Now, I'm not sure if a lot of you know this, but there needs to be a gap of at least 2 hours after you've had your meal and when you're about to go to sleep. This is because of simple body mechanism and simple science, that when you put food in your body, it needs time to digest. Your body, the moment food goes in, the body starts working on digesting it, right? And if your body is working to digest this food, it's not able to get as restful in a state as it's supposed to be when you're about to sleep. And this causes you to have trouble falling asleep. And it also affects your quality of sleep. So we must make sure that we are eating little, or we are eating well in time before we are about to sleep. Late night snacks, again, the same mechanism and the same science, that if you interrupt your sleeping process by making your body work to digest some food that you put in late in the night or at irregular times, it will have an effect on your sleep. So it has a direct effect on your circadian rhythm. I hope you all know what that is. It is a natural and internal process that regulates our sleep and wake cycle, and it repeats roughly every 24 hours. So if we want to maintain a good sleeping cycle, we must avoid having food too early to when you're sleeping, too close to your sleeping time, or late night snacking. That is your 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. binge eating or snacking. We have to avoid that. Next is your mind chatter, or how your body is tensed always. So students, notice if your jaw is clenched right now. Just drop your jaw and notice if your shoulders are all tight. Loosen your shoulders. Did you notice the difference? This is the same way we are most of the times not aware that we are keeping our body so tensed up because of all the activities that we're doing throughout the day. So naturally, when we're about to go to sleep, it doesn't consciously cross our mind to relax our bodies. We are always tensed. So we need to make sure that we are relaxing our body, and then the sleep process starts. Because if you're all tensed up, it will interrupt your sleep process. It will come in the way of your relaxation. And the same way you are relaxing your body, you also have to make sure that you're relaxing your mind. We may have so many things that go on in our mind during the day. We have so many thoughts. How will I be preparing for the marathon? Will I be doing great? Will I trip or fall? You know, all these fears. I'm sure some of you have that, but there are so many thoughts in our mind on a daily basis. And before we go to sleep, we have to make sure that we are putting our mind to rest, that we are consciously putting all these thoughts aside and then going to sleep. So make sure you do this. You are reducing your mind chatter, and you are also not going to sleep with your tensed body muscles. Now, I'm sure you must have heard of this word hygiene, and you all must be thinking, does sleep also have an hygiene? Yes, it does, because by definition, hygiene refers to the conditions and practices that help us to maintain the health and prevent the spread of diseases. We want to maintain our health before our marathon. We want to make sure we are sleeping well so that our immune system is in check. And we also want to make sure that we are not falling sick close to our marathon. So let's look at how to maintain a sleep hygiene. brush at the end of the day. Now, some of the students may have trouble doing this because it's an added activity, or you'll feel lazy by the end of the day. But it's a habit that we all must cultivate. It helps clear out some tiny particles of food from your mouth. And if you maintain a brushing practice every night, it prevents from developing yellow substance that settles in your teeth and makes them look dirty. So if you want to maintain your full health, this is a habit that you must cultivate. Brush your teeth before going to sleep. Again, emphasizing on this next point, which is screen sharing, which is watching the screens. I'm sorry. You have to keep the screens away, and we have to maintain a habit of keeping the screens away at least 45 to 30 minutes before we go to sleep. Make sure that you are reading a book before you go to sleep, because that's a very calming and soothing activity to do before you sleep. And instead, if you spend some time on your screen, it will make your eyes all itchy and irritable. And we do not want that before we go to sleep. So reading a book instead is a good habit. So you can substitute your screen time with reading a book. Darkness is essential to sleep. So making sure not only all these other factors or other elements that we are, that all the other habits that we are trying to cultivate, but it's also about how the environment is around you when you're about to sleep. There is a science behind this about sleeping in a dark environment. The absence of light sends a critical signal to the body that it is time to rest. And light exposure at the wrong time alters the body's internal sleep clock, which we talked about, circadian rhythm. The biological mechanism that regulates the sleep-wake cycles, if that is affected by too much of light exposure at the wrong time, it interrupts your sleeping pattern and it disturbs you entirely. So we have to make sure that when we are going to sleep, it is a dark and a cool environment. It is also another habit that you all might have some trouble following is taking a shower before sleeping, because for some of us, it may not be a habit. But taking a shower helps wash away the entire incidents of the day. So it's like a fresh start when you're about to go to sleep and you're about to rest. Experts say that taking a relaxing shower before bed is known to help in quality of sleeping. So taking a shower is also associated with reducing tiredness and inducing relaxation, which are exactly the two things that we need when we are about to go to sleep. So make sure you're taking a hot, nice shower before sleeping. Keeping your bed tidy and uncluttered. I'm sure this is something that you must have heard from your mothers every day and night, that you must keep your room clean, you must keep your bed clean. That has an effect, because seeing a clean environment avoids the clutter of thoughts. Keeping your bed neat and tidy also helps in sleeping better. People in a study, in a research, they have reported that they go to sleep better when there is a clean bed that they're going to sleep on. So making sure that you are just tidying up the place, folding your bed sheets every day after you wake up is also a good habit. Actually, that can also be included in the hygiene. After you wake up in the morning, make sure you are folding your bed sheets and making your bed before you start with the day. Gratitude. Now, I'm not sure if this is a concept that you all have learned, but if you all have, it's a really great thing. Gratitude is simply the process of counting our blessings or saying thanks. It is an activity that is reported to have significant effects on our happiness and our mental state, a good mental state. So something as simple as mentioning to yourself or in your mind, or if you have a habit of journaling, mentioning 3 things that you are very, very grateful for. So these 3 things can be something as simple as I had good food today, or I had a great conversation with a friend, or I completed my homework, or I am 1 inch closer to my preparation for the marathon. It can be these simple things. But saying thanks and being grateful for the things around you, people around you, the situation you're in, and your surroundings. Make sure you're saying thanks to your parents every day, to your friends every day, to your teachers who are helping you study and get an education every day. These are very important things, and we must say thanks, and we must have an idea that these things are really important for us, and we must feel blessed to have them in our lives. Maintaining a sleep schedule is when you have a set routine of going to sleep and then waking up in the morning. If you have a set routine that you are sleeping at 10 o'clock in the morning and waking up at 6 o'clock, that helps your body learn that clock. Having a sleep schedule is when you are maintaining the body's internal clock. Falling asleep and waking up on time gets easier if there is a set time that you are falling asleep and waking up at. And also, I have noticed this thing. This is something that my teacher has told me, that if you go to sleep on time and wake up on time, at one time in particular, there is a routine that you set, you will not need an alarm clock to wake up. And this is something that I have tried actually, and it works. If you go to sleep with the thought that you wish to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, after some tries, you will notice that you are able to open your eyes at 6 o'clock, and it happens. And it's a miracle, but it happens. So I think you should try something like that. Just go to sleep with the thought that you want to wake up at whatever hour you want to wake up at, and go to sleep. Just close your eyes, and you will, after having practiced this for some weeks or some days, you will notice that you are waking up at the desired time. So that's some experimenting that you all can do. Now, we looked at the distractors, we looked at sleep hygiene. Now let's look at more things that can help us improve our quality of sleep. Shut our mind off. As I had mentioned in the earlier slides, that we need to reduce our mind chatter. And for that, even if we have managed to calm down our mind, we have to make sure that we're not engaging in any mentally demanding tasks before going to bed. So it's best if we are going to bed and we're not studying right before we go to bed, or any task that requires your mental attention. It's best to avoid that, because when you're going to bed, it's time to relax, and it's not the time to work up your brain. It's the time to wind down your brain. So make sure that you are not engaging in mentally demanding tasks. Sleep music is a concept that I think most of you will be new to. There is music that can help you sleep better and relax better. Listening to calm and soothing music helps you calm down the parts of autonomic nervous system. It helps in lowering our breathing. It helps lower our heart rate and our blood pressure. It has a direct influence over the functioning of our body. It's not just mental changes, but there are physical changes that happen with music. So sleep music can be just instrumental music, or it can be music with the sounds of nature, which are very calming and very soothing to listen to, especially when you're going to sleep and you're about to fall asleep. So that's also something that you all can experiment. Naps during the day, sleeping during the day, especially when it is not in your schedule, or it is not in your biological routine, can have effects. Because if you have had your rest during the day, your body might not feel the need to rest during the night, which will result in you staying awake probably most of the night, or having disturbed sleep during the night. So reducing the number of irregular naps, if there is a fixed amount of if there is a fixed time of, let's say, 40 minutes that you are going to sleep, and your body is used to this, then probably it won't raise any problems. But if these naps are very irregular and in timed, then it might have an effect. So that's one thing that we must avoid. Again, the environment must be cool, as it has a direct influence on our physicality. It has similar effects on our body, where it tones down the stress and the tension in our muscles, having a cool and a dark environment. It helps us relax. Now, coming to a very important part of this discussion is the point that I had mentioned, that how we all don't notice, or we are not always aware that we are keeping our muscles very tensed. What we often, that is one thing that we often overlook or ignore, that we need to relax our body also when we are going to sleep. So we are going to do a process which is called progressive muscle relaxation, which is an exercise that reduces stress in your body. And it slowly takes you through a process where you're tensing the muscles and then relaxing with each of the muscles. And it brings you in a deep state of relaxation, which helps you fall asleep faster. So is this something that you all are ready to experience? I hope so. Let's get to it. So make sure that you are sitting in a very comfortable position with some back support, or if you all would like to lie down in a comfortable position, that's also fine. You all will be listening to my voice and just follow what I say. Shut your eyes if you are comfortable doing so. And we can begin by taking a deep breath and noticing the feeling of air filling your lungs. Hold your breath for a few seconds. And release the breath slowly, and let the tension leave your body. Take in another deep breath and hold it. Again, very slowly release the air. Let's go even slower now. Take another deep breath. Fill your lungs and hold your breath. Very gently and slowly release the breath, and imagine the feeling of tension leaving your body. You can keep taking slower breaths like this. Now let's move our attention to our feet. Begin to tense your feet by curling your toes and then stretching your foot. Hold the tension and notice what it feels like. Slowly release the tension and notice the new feeling of relaxation. Further up, we'll begin to focus on our lower leg. Tense the muscles in your calves. Hold them tightly and pay attention to the feeling of tension. Make sure you're not straining too much. Release the tension from your lower legs. And again, notice the feeling of relaxation. Breathe deeply and calmly. Next, tense the muscles of your upper leg and your hip area. You can do this by tightly squeezing your thighs together. Make sure you feel the tenseness without going to the point of strain. And release. Feel the tension leave your muscles. Coming further up, begin to tense your stomach and your chest. You can do this by sucking your stomach in. Squeeze without straining too much and hold the tension. A little bit longer. And release. Allow your body to loosen. Let yourself notice the feeling of relaxation. Continue taking deep breaths. Breathe in slowly. Notice the air fill your lungs and hold it. Release the air slowly. Feel it leaving your lungs. Next, tense the muscles in your back by bringing your shoulders together behind you. Hold them tightly. Tense them as hard as you can without straining and keep holding. Release the tension from your back and feel the tension slowly leaving your body and the new feeling of relaxation. Notice how different your body feels when you allow it to relax. Tense your arms all the way from your hands to your shoulders. Make a fist and squeeze all the way up your arm. Hold it. And release the tension from your arms and shoulders. Notice the feeling of relaxation in your fingers, your hands, arms, and your shoulders. Feel how your arms feel loose and at ease. Now let's move up to your neck and your head. Tense your face and your neck by distorting the muscles around your eyes and your mouth. Release. And again, notice the new feeling of relaxation. And finally, tense your entire body, your feet, legs, stomach, chest, your arms, your head, and your neck. Tense harder without straining. Hold the tension. And now release. Allow your body to loosen completely. And pay attention to this feeling of relaxation and how different it is from the feeling of tension. Now, slowly, you can begin to wake your body by moving your muscles very gently. Gently adjust your arms and your legs. Slowly stretch your muscles. And be ready to open your eyes. Slowly open your eyes when you are ready. How did that feel? I'm sure it was a very relaxing experience for all of you. And this is an activity that you can do every time before you're going to sleep. Because as you have noticed and experienced it now, it puts you in a deep state of relaxation. And that will ensure that you are sleeping very well and your quality of sleep is improving day by day. Thank you to all you students for listening to this discussion and this session very patiently. I wish you all the best for your marathon on 25th of Feb. Take care and sleep well.